Welcome to another edition of Journeys of Hope. Tonight we have Esther Gold joining us back again. She was on one of our previous editions of YouTube, and tonight she's going to be talking a little bit about her presentation that she'll be doing on the April 2020 cruise, and that is, Can Joy and Grief Coexist? Two items that you wouldn't think do. So Esther, welcome, and help us understand how those two do exist together.
I am a person, I live life with loss, and I am working very hard at trying to see some glimmers of joy. I admit I am sad, and how am I going to work with this on a daily basis? Most of us that live life with loss, people think that we're broken. We're not broken. We have a broken heart. So I am, for myself and for those I love and for those who are also walking on the path of sorrow, I want them to work very hard to work with their grief. We don't get through it, we don't get over it, but it is up to us. And for us to back off from some people who we thought would support us through this. They may be grieving the same person that you have lost, but we can't really help them because they had a different relationship than we did. And I can't expect them to be helping me. So that's where I think everyone who's going to participate on this cruise, I want them to make a conscious decision. This is up to me. And part of my presentation is I want all of you, and we've heard about the typical 5 stages of loss. I want you to put those aside because those were written for people who are dying. All of us that are going to be on the cruise, we are very much alive, very much alive. So what I want to suggest for me, my loved ones, for everyone who signs up for the cruise, I want you to start thinking about the 5 dimensions of our health. I am a registered nurse and I teach in a college and a healthcare program. And we do have these 5 dimensions of health. And if one of them is out of balance, even 2, it's going to overlap into those others. So we have our physical health, our emotional health, intellectual health, a social health, and a spiritual health. Those all are connected. And if one of them, as I say, is something's not going right, it's going to affect the others like a domino. So how can we recognize it's up to us to do what we need to do to make that dimension healthier? And while we're on the cruise, I want us to be very aware of our wonderful 5 senses. And sometimes when we're feeling sad, we don't see what's outside, or we don't appreciate those senses. So the fact that we can see and that we can hear and we can smell and we can taste and we can feel, we're going to be on the cruise. Being on the cruise alone, it is going to awaken those senses. And myself and those other presenters that are going to be giving their best tips and tools for all of us to consider incorporating into our daily life, because they have experienced something and they're saying, you know, this has worked for me and maybe it might work for you. So let's try it. Why not try it? All of us are different. We grieve differently in our own way and in our own time. And so I want to have us really awaken ourselves and take responsibility for, you know, nobody's going to knock on my door and go, Esther, I want to make sure you're really happy. I have to do it my own way, own time. So by you coming and signing up for the cruise, I want to do a few things and plant a few seeds. And what I'll first start off with, you're going to come to the cruise, my presentation, and I'm going to give you a little piece of yellow paper like this. And I'm going to say, everyone, take this and I want you to look at. And we're going to look at how this changes, and it's going to tell us a little bit about our body chemistry. And I have some tips and tools on how we can change our body chemistry. Then we're going to have an experience. I have 2 shots. These are considered health shots. One of them I named grief. One of them I named joy. They look the same, but I am guaranteeing when you taste the one I've put together for grief, it's going to be an experience. And we're going to talk about that experience, just like we're going to talk about our experience with grief. Then, minutes later, we're going to taste joy. And it truly has a different experience. And I want you to really think how awesome that was. But we had both grief and joy basically at the same time. So why can't we live life with grief and joy walking hand in hand? And it's going to be up to us. I have something else for you. You're looking at this and you're thinking, what is that? It is from nature. This is nature's antidepressant. I have trouble with the word being depressed because I'm not depressed. Many of you are not depressed. We're sad. But if you can have this, some of this every day, it can actually help with your well-being. This comes from a tree. This has many health benefits, but if it can help with our well-being and mood, why not? Let's have that. I have a host of other things just to tease you. I have this. On a spoon, I don't know if you can see it or not, I add some Himalayan salt to this. It has been reported and studied. We take some of this just before bed, place it beneath our tongue with that bit of salt. It can, for many people, promote a very restful sleep. And also you are energized in the morning. We are a chemistry lab. Why can we use this, that little bit of salt, to give it a chance? It might work. And this, of course, comes from nature. When I say plant the flowers to encourage the bees, we have to thank the bees for that. I believe totally in different kinds of tea. This particular tea has been deemed as an antidepressant. So again, we're using that word. This actually can improve your mood. No caffeine in it. It is going to give us a sense of well-being. So why would we not have that? Give this to your family and friends so they're all in a better mood too. I have another tea. This particular tea is going to be one that will calm you, relax you, and also promote well-being. It's from a plant. You can have several cups of this every day, but also it's like a powerhouse of other nutrients. Let's start feeling better physically. It's going to affect us when it comes to our emotions and our behavior and maybe our perception on how we see the life that has changed. We have a loved one that passed away. I've changed. My world has changed, and I'm still trying to get to know who I've become. But I am trying everything so that I can accept my day. I have something very exciting to show you. In Northern Ontario, Siberia, Russia, this grows on a tree. Nature is so miraculous. When the tree needs a little bit of help, it will grow this growth on the tree. We will harvest this in late winter and make this into tea. There are many, many health benefits to this growth and for us to consume it. When we have used a piece of this over and over again in a pot of water to simmer it, once there's no more color and nutrient coming from it, we dry it, we light it like an incense, and we breathe in the fumes. It will help with our lung health. Imagine, from nature. Don't you just love her? Have some more exciting things to show you. There is a particular root. There's a particular root, it's a purple root. And in some countries, they eat this every single day because they deem it as their fountain of youth. The people in their country are living to be centurions. I am telling you, when I discovered this, I am buying this. I'm really 102, but I have been having this. Now, another root that many of you are familiar with is this one. Tasty. If you have a problem with elevated blood sugars, having this every day and adding cinnamon. Remember, our body is a chemistry lab. We can use food as our medicine, and why not? And this also has many, many other health benefits too. But I'm just giving a little bit of like the tip of the iceberg with a few of these things. Now, many of you are going to know this. This is a bulb. Antiviral, antibacterial, helps with heart health. And if you believe in vampires, no vampires come around if you use this bulb. Now, some of you may have joint pain for whatever reason. Start thinking about finding an anti-inflammatory diet. We hate to be in pain. We can add to our food this yellow spice with black pepper. And if you don't want this in your food, you can buy a supplement. And taking this, when we have inflammation, we have pain. If you can reduce your inflammation by taking a supplement, why would you not do that rather than getting on some pain medications? We would like that to go away and this is not to mask our pain. We talk about, again, foods that'll help with our mood. Here's an avocado. Essential oils of this will help our mood, many other health benefits, but I'm an older girl. I have to watch out because we can get what's called degenerative eye disease, macular degeneration. Having an avocado, and I tell you, one of my little cats and I every morning, we share avocado. That cat's got the best fur, I tell you, probably the best eyesight, but I'm trying to do everything I can to stay as healthy. So what I'm trying to say is there are things that we can be eating and drinking, and this here is a container of warm water. Every morning, I put some of this in warm water, and when I gave you that little piece of yellow paper to lick, we can change our chemistry by warm water and this lemon. I have another thing to show you. When my children were little, I am a colon cancer survivor of 29 years, and I'm a farmer's kid. I know about plants and fiber and all the things that can keep us healthy, but for whatever reason, I became ill. So my children from a very young age, because they were young when I became very ill, but I always had fruit. And my 3-year-old went past the fruit bowl and she picked this up and she goes, "Mom, do you know why I'm having this?" I said, "Well, you tell me." Because in my family, we would try to have as many colors on our dinner plate because all those colorful foods do different things for us. So I said, "So why are you having the pear?" "Get ready for this." She said, "Because it makes me poop." So some of you are going to be grinning. I want to tell you, because of what I've learned from being ill and also because of my profession, there is such a strong connection with our brain and with our gut and our brain. And if one of those aren't working properly, it's going to affect that. More and more people are ill because we have what's called a toxic colon. I tell my students and my own children, we're not Tupperware. We're not supposed to store some of those things that should be eliminated. So we do have even tea, and I'm not promoting any company, tea that can help you with that elimination in a way that's not cramping, it's not severe, it's not a bunch of chemistry, as well as your food being a medicine for that roughage. So there's things that we can be doing. So what I am wanting all of you to do is focus on those dimensions of health. We're going to stimulate your senses. And for those of you that still have some assistance from doctors and practitioners, I'm asking you, starting now, I want you to think about what are you deserving in life? What is going to fuel your spirit? and time to focus on unselfish self-care. You decide you're going to participate in this cruise. I want you to welcome those suggestions from all of the presenters, including me. And I want to see you at the cruise. I want to know you. Let's share our stories. And yes, grief and joy can coexist. You discover those moments that this gives me joy. But also, why don't you set up something that will bring some joy, not only to you, but to those who love you? So please sign up for the cruise. This is our life. We are deserving. You're going to honor your loved one. You're going to remember them. You're going to keep them as a legacy. And we are going to forever have them as part of our present life. Please sign up for the cruise. And I want all of us to focus on our 5 dimensions of health and make our senses become very alive and alert. So I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Thank you. So it really is clear that by focusing on all aspects of who we are, that we can allow joy to return to our lives while we're grieving.